So the first thing we're going to talk about is a subject that everybody's been talking about, the 87,000 IRS agents that the Biden administration wants to unleash on us. So just to distill some of the fear is that there is a Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration. The nickname is TIGA. And in 2021, they did an IRS review. It's not your father's IRS. They answered less than 10% of the phone calls. I heard on a news report, Chuck Reddig, by the way, Chuck Reddig is my tax attorney, or at least he was before he became the commissioner and will be again when 3 years are up and comes back. But he said they were getting as many as 1,500 calls a minute, and that kind of broke the system. So they only answer about 10% of the phone calls. They currently have 17 to 22 million unprocessed returns. Here's a tip. You don't want the IRS to process your return? Send them a paper return. Almost all of these millions of returns are the paper ones, not the electronically filed ones. They've kind of lost the skill set to process those on a timely basis. $19 billion of 2021 earned income tax credits were improper. By improper, we mean they didn't really qualify for them, but they took it anyway. Now, if the government wants to collect a fast buck, they should probably get a task force that looks at filed returns for income tax credits. Now, the income tax credit is for lower income people, and it's a refundable credit. So if you didn't make any money, I think you can get up to $2,500 put in your pocket, no questions asked. I think they need to start asking questions if 19 billion of it was sent out wrong. The IRS in 2020 sent 89,338 balance due notices that were incorrect. What does incorrect mean? The people didn't owe any money, but they got a balance due and then had to go through the process. The Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. This has been around for a number of years. I believe it started in 2010. It's an Obama thing. Obama was going to get all those evil businessmen that were putting their money in foreign banks and spending it here off of a debit or credit card. That was the folklore and the myth. So the IRS jumped on this thing, and there's two forms you have to file, and they have really huge penalties. It's like, twice the amount of money that's in your account if you don't report it type of thing. And they were going to collect $9 billion in revenue. Have we heard this before? Isn't that the current thing? That we're going to get 87,000 new agents and they're going to collect 700 billion to $1 trillion type of thing. Since 2010, the task force that's been doing this has collected $14 million. And they spent $574 million to implement this law. So the moral of the story is there may be 87,000 IRS agents headed your way, but they all would be like Don Knotts and the gang that can't shoot straight. So it's a concern, but the likelihood of them being super effective is low. And we'll get to another piece of this whole thing later on in the next slide.